I just say it.
Welcome to Danu on Fire right here on Hi TV, your luxury channel. Today we're checking out Sober Social Colombo. It's a brand new hotspot in Colombo where you get to come, enjoy a good night out and still be sober and normal. It's a place made for people like me. Well, you drink, no?
Well, occasionally.
There
maybe.
you go. But on the days that you don't want to drink and want to have like a clean system, you could come here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get everything looking like alcohol and tasting like alcohol with no alcohol.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now that's what's happening. So as always, every January she's like the calendar start. Like she's like a year planner that we need, or like
Year
a
planner.
book, like
The sound of it.
like a diary that we might purchase in the start of the year. Then we don't care about it till the end of 12. Now somehow January comes with Rafella's calendar. Once again this year you have not only featured local, but you have also featured
International.
people. Now tell me, did you tell them like you're being featured alongside these people?
Yes.
What did they say?
They're like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Tell me about working on RFCC this year.
It was really special, Danu, because this is my 13th edition. So I feel like it has come a very long way, and then again I've tried to make changes as much as I can.
Yeah, you used to do 12 and now you have to do 24.
24.
You have no choice, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So I mean, I love working on it too, So like every year, like because I do, like other than this, all the other work that I do are commercial work. So, but this is where I get to express myself, and I love doing
go
this.
to the elements of creativity.
Yes. So I don't usually get to do. Not only me, all the photographers in Sri Lanka, we don't really get to breathe like artists most of the time. Like most of the time we do. Work for bread and butter. So I love working on the calendar because that's something I feel alive and fun working on, and I meet friends, and it's fun.
Tell me, last year you did feature Jacqueline, and once again she's featured this year as well. But you also have another actress and a singer.
Two artists, yeah. I have Urmila Matondkar and Asta Gill. So Asta Gill is like a Bollywood singer, so she works with a lot of, she has a different flavor to her, and it was fun working with her because it wasn't purely for the calendar, but we did some other projects where, I spoke to them and then I used one of the pictures, and Urmila Matondkar is like, one of the legendary actresses and who is a politician now as well, so.
If only politicians look that good.
I know, she's gorgeous,
Yeah.
and she's one of my favorites too. So during the COVID time, I used to kind of watch all her movies, and so it was like a dream come true for me to work with.
So what did they say about this approach that you do with stars in the industry, giving them a new perspective?
They love it because this is what they have been doing all their lives.
That's
They
right.
have so much love and respect for
And
art.
they had till the 90s, all their Filmfare awards and all were very simple, basic.
Yes.
They just dressed like clothes like this and went.
Exactly.
But now it's been glammed to another level.
Everything is glamorized there. You have a coffee, it's glamorized too. So it's somewhat nice. At the same time, it's sometimes intimidating for people like us because we just go there to work.
Correct.
So then the moment you see it, and then you just be like, okay, this is larger than life. So it's something exciting, intimidating also at the same time. But they love art. Whether you come from Sri Lanka, whether you come from
Wherever.
anywhere.
They appreciate the element of art.
They really appreciate it, and that's something, once you go there, you don't feel like an outsider because you're accepted for your art and they respect you, they want to work with you. And the moment you speak to them about something like this, because over there it's a very commercial project, over here it's not. The moment we speak to them about it.
You come put a price tag on it here.
Yes.
One, you'll be poor.
Yes.
And
yes.
and there won't be calendar.
Exactly.
It's impossible. Like, you do it for the passion of it. And the people who come also, like, I think we also see these artists in a complete new dimension where we're like, But this year the calendar was completely different. It had a story behind each page, and each story sort of spoke something. I think one of the strongest for me that will, I think, what do you call it? Cases not solved.
Shalini's justice delayed is justice denied.
Correct. And that really, I think it pierced through my heart for the fact that, this whole April
You being a
bombing,
Catholic too.
Yes. And April bombing is still very fresh in people's mind.
Definitely.
Like, even when tsunami is so fresh, we are talking about the bombing which happened, their lives were just unwantedly taken.
True.
And the fact that you had the clothes representing the souls longing for those answers were just so painful.
Thank you so much.
And I think that, like, even I get goosebumps now.
Thank
but
you.
it's a very powerful message. But that didn't have any commercial element. There was no glam about it. Why did you do that particular one?
Because I felt, Danu, because as an artist, like artivism is something which is very actively happening, and that's something I do other than the calendar. I do in bits and pieces, and it's not really out for social media or like that sort of situations. I just do it for the fun of it when I want to express. And then I felt the calendar has a voice now. Why don't I use it? Because not every artist would be comfortable doing something like that, and Shalini, I mean, hats off, she loved the idea.
And also because she was used as a tool to give a message.
Definitely.
She was not given the whole artist moment.
She wasn't a celebrity or like an artist there. And then the moment I told, and we also had the permission from the church, and the priests were very happy to help us with the, giving us the location and everything. So that's something I felt, because I was supposed to go to Kochikade that day. So, for some reason, I'm here talking with you. So like, that is a blessing. And not that I'm, saying that in a different way, but it definitely, the moment you talk about it, think about it, there's so much pain also which carries with that idea. So I wanted to kind of portray that in a very simple way with no religions involved, but it was loud enough for people to understand it was about the Easter attack, the bombing. So yeah, I wasn't expecting that sort of a feedback, but then like, so many people are talking about it, and then I got to know, like, one scientist was writing to me from USA, and then she was telling me she has sent this picture to the president, and the president was quite impressed too. I was like, okay, that's
Joe Biden. Joe Biden.
Joe Biden? No.
In the US?
No.
Our president.
Yeah, our president. Our president.
Let's get into a break. We'll see you right after. Shout out to our friends at Dialog Ch for joining us on Danu on Fire. You want to get something fancy, trendy, and also very cool, chic? You can now get all that you want under one roof, making it a complete local experience. Sri Lankan designers doing some amazing work and being inclusive in fashion. More details when you do visit their stores at one Go Face, if not in Bangladesh.
Just say it.
Welcome back to the show. Sober Social Colombo is where we are. We are talking to Rafella. She's a January girl. She's in the news at the start of the year. Now, I wanted to ask you, this year, your calendar has a purpose behind it. Last year you helped the community. You worked with them and you had a story about them, and it was quite impressive as to how you sort of took this art form to create awareness. What was your message for this year?
So this year, Danu, like all 24 pictures had 24 different stories, and I wanted to kind of like, kind of touch different cultures, different communities, and different stories, and not really thinking that I wanted to give out a message, but I wanted each and every photograph to have some sort of substance, like not just to be a photograph, so to have a story, to have some sort of a depth and some deep meaning, because I truly believe that's what photography stands for too, because sometimes we look at the pictures, they're beautiful, but we don't have anything to feel, so I want to create pictures where we can feel, and it's not everybody's cup of tea also, there's you and there's me and like another few people who would really
see beyond what is taken.
Definitely, but some would just look at it like, oh, she's looking good. So I wanted to create something he or she, like for people to see, like it's beyond what they look like, and there's some sort of a story. For some it did definitely translate to certain people, some it did not, and that's what art is all about
definitely.
too. So,
but what do you do when you get like comments which can be sometimes, ruthless?
Like my personality, right? Like I just be like really blank about it, and I'll be like, oh, thanks, and then like if I like, my thing is, if I love something or if I like something, somebody saying that they don't like won't change it for me.
Right.
You know?
Because that, like your visual to it is, I think like that artist who sold an imaginary sculpture.
Ooh.
There was an artist in the world who has sold an imaginary sculpture so many $1 million and given a stand for it to be on as well.
So there was no like...
No, nothing. But somebody bought it.
Must be his best friend or something.
No, for real.
Or family.
So that's what you should do. Here are you go, 24 pictures I've taken.
Yeah, beautiful. You don't see it?
Nothing.
Oh my God.
Exactly, that's what's pending. Now, last year you did a lot of things in terms of, you went global with some of your work. You tell me like what you're doing now, like just very confused. Like long time ago it was easy. She's a photographer, can say it and stop. Just year by year putting new things onto you, and it's just
okay. Well, how do I? Okay, so obviously I work as a photographer, and I'm now like the only change is I work locally and internationally also, and I'm kind of like working on my portfolio and like the base. So that's something interesting for me also, and I'm super excited for that.
to sort of take shape.
Yeah, that is something really exciting. And then styling, of course, like I mostly like work on music videos and music related work, and then there's my brand again. It's like a ready to wear brand, so it's just there, like it's a commercial brand now, not designer wear. So bits and pieces of that.
But when you were growing up and studying, you did design?
Yes. So I'm a self-taught photographer, never learned photography.
Right.
So, but I'm a fashion graduate, that's what I've studied. But now I'm very much biased towards photography, and I want to be a photographer.
Known as a photographer and not
yes, not as a designer. So, I mean, of course, I like designing, and that really helps me for my photography, but I don't want to be called as a photographer, a designer anymore, because I think I have my entire heart and soul
is here.
Yeah, it's there.
Now, do you need all these fancy cameras to take a nice photo?
No, I don't believe in that, to be honest, because for the longest time I was using a very basic camera. At that period I was experimenting. It was purely experimenting for me, and now of course I use a professional camera, and like it's a good camera and all that. But I don't believe that I need that, because if I have a very basic camera and if I have the skill set, I think that's the most important.
How do you come into this field? Like, what brought Rafella here? Like, like for example, if I put it in norm, where the hell are you from?
Where the hell am I from? Okay, so photography. I'll start with that. When I was in school, they told me that I can't take pictures because I did light and shade pictures, and I was kicked out of the photography society too at one point because I was taking light and shade in like very artistic pictures. What are these pictures? And then even that time I used to just take like pieces of mirrors and then like reflect it and create pictures and like create lighting and stuff.
And this is like the photography club in school?
Yes. So they thought like I'm hopeless, and then I'm hopeless. And then like I went home and I remember crying also, telling my father, and he was like, okay, like there was this photography competition and the entire school took part, and the school said like we can't like take your picture because it's that embarrassing. So I was so sad. My father was like, okay, we'll like submit it separately, and I won.
And what did your school say?
So they called me during
The assembly.
And wanted to give me, but I was like, I didn't go through the school, so send it to my classroom.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I was like,
Yeah.
I just
Sassy about it. You
sassy
should,
about
yeah.
it. But then I just felt, okay, I like it, but I never thought, okay, I'm going to pursue a career out of it because I didn't think I was that good or something like that. I had zero trust in myself as a photographer during that time.
And how, in which part of your life was this? In the year 2000? Before that?
Yeah, after 2000, like.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm going to come back and continue the story. We're beginning to a break. We'll see you back. Our final segment with Rafella right here on ITV, and this is Danu on Fire. Now, in midst of all of these people who you have photographed, one person who you have an ambition to photograph,
Like here or
anywhere.
I would love to photograph Shah Rukh Khan one day.
Okay, here. Shah Rukh Khan might be possible.
I think it's
Yeah.
manifesting real hard.
Yeah.
And I truly believe I will one day, but
So I don't
Yeah.
think you'll take the picture. You'll just.
I'll just collapse.
Yeah.
I'll be on the floor
Yeah.
and trying to figure out what happened to me. And but yeah, that's like major.
That's a bit of a problem we may have. But anybody else? Locally?
Locally, I have a couple of names that I would love to work, and the ones that I've worked with. And I've worked the most with Sangeeta. Sangeeta Veeraratna, I call her Aki. So yeah, I've done about 27 shoots for her book, and then altogether about 31 shoots with her. So 31 completely different looks. So
It's quite interesting. Now, this is what sort of brought you here. But did you think along the way, setting out, making connections, being so vitally involved in this industry, all of that came about naturally, or was it?
it was very natural and organic, Danu, because like when I started, I didn't know if I'll last for a longer time. Now it's been 16 years by God's grace, and it's a very long time. And that too in an industry like that, to kind of build your own brand and then kind of work towards it. So I never thought it'll work this way. But I think after the 10th year, of course, I started becoming more business focused too, because that's how it has to be.
Yeah.
So I do create, that is for my,
But
that's
have
my
you done shoots that you just don't like to talk about? Political campaign shoots?
no, I don't work with politicians. That's my policy. I say no to them.
Good money man made when there's an
No.
election or something, just stay.
So my thing is, if there's no substance, and for I don't like working for, and that's something I truly believe in, because art is not for sale.
Yeah.
One part of it is, that's my bread and butter, that will be for sale because that is for the commercial purpose. But for the art, I'm not going to do something that I'm not like, comfortable doing. So that's a big no. I've said no to a few
really?
too, and happily saying no to that too.
Would you consider yourself stubborn?
Myself stubborn? Not really.
Can your opinions be changed by people?
Yes.
Ah, really?
Yes.
Oh.
If I'm convinced, I'm okay. But my thing is, there are certain things I like the structure of it, and if I don't work in that structure, I feel I'll not be me.
You.
But yes, opinions are like to change. It's there for the change too. So yeah, if I'm convinced, yes.
When you wanted to take up this thing where it was photography and whatever, because it's so not in the norm, were your parents okay about it?
Yes, they were. I mean, they still are the most supportive parents ever. So I was not one of those studious kids, and I'm dyslexic. So when I was in school, so they knew this is not my path, because my sister is really studious. So they knew, okay,
Yeah.
this is not my path.
One is for book, one is for art.
Yes. So the moment they understood, they kind of
Gave you the freedom.
Gave me the freedom, and I was never been that camed kid. I was never told like don't do this, don't do that. Only if it's wrong they would say that, but I've always had that freedom. And now I'm married to someone also like that. He gives me 110% freedom to do whatever I like. So, you know, like that's how like a real artist starts to create also, you know, because the moment you breathe properly in your own space, you become like very free and like water.
Would you consider yourself ambitious? Like, do you wake up in the morning and like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I wake up, you know, so I believe in manifestation. So the first thing I do is I pray and then I manifest. And there are a few things I want in life, and I've got some of them by now. But there's a like
The
a
long list. Yeah.
Not very long, but it's a very fixed
List.
list, and I want that in life. So I truly believe I'm very passionate and ambitious. I'll be after it until I get it.
Well, I think that's the most important thing, because I think your journey has been remarkable from the time when it was something, you know, when you used to do your RCC calendar event. I don't
Yes.
think people who came at that time realized that you're going to have a ballroom full of people 13 years down the lane.
Even I didn't, to be
Yeah.
honest, because I never thought it will be something
Yeah.
like this.
And you know, you always know you have made an impact is when people turn up. Number two, when they turn up dressed, that means they have really taken effort.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
well done. I think that
Thank you
shows
so much.
process and path. Well, all the way best, Rafella. I just wanted to touch base on your new thing for this year, and I
you
really
so
hope
much, Danu.
there'll be more. Like, I can't wait to see a series of these very social, powerful, impactful photographs like what we saw with the April.
We did one
bombing.
too, talking
Yeah.
about religious trauma at one
But
point.
this one was just like you didn't need anything.
Thank
it was
you,
just,
man. Thank
I
you
think
so
somebody who has been through it or been a part of that bomb the other day, if they see that picture, it'll break them in a positive way that somebody is speaking for them, which is amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here, and also to our friends here at Sober Social Colombo. Thank you so very much for hosting us. It's definitely a cute place you have to come. Very Instagrammable, I must say. Food tastes really good, and the best part is you go back home just sober. It's totally fine. So we will see you soon. Till then, keep smiling. It's a wrap.